Alrighty. Looks like everything is humming along nicely. Gamer Heroine, how you doing? Yeah, my apologies for the squeaky chair. It's like the last couple of weeks it's just got squeakier and squeakier. I think it's the weather. Trying to find my glove. We're going to be gloveless. It is what it is. Okay. Lazy Sketch Guy, what's going on? Nah, doing well, doing well. How you doing? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I've just got that feeling that I'm forgetting something. That's alright. We'll just roll with it. So, today, another stream, another week, you know. I wanted to, we'll see how where we end up. What I'd like to do is get some like interactions with characters, you know, like from a study perspective, because we do a lot of like individuals and people just standing there. Nathaniel, how you doing? I prefer compression, fingerless compression gloves. 2-finger gloves feel weird. Ooh. I appreciate you, Lazy. Bloody glad to have you. But you know what I mean? Like I'm looking for some interaction, multiple characters, multiple scenes, and not just like posing. I want to get some like natural things, but I don't think typing in 2 people is gonna help. 2 people poses drawing. No, that's gonna be actual drawing. 2 people. Let's just go very explicit. Interacting. Now this could cut the stream real short if something pops up. So let me just double check. Okay, it's very PG. That's at least from what I'm looking at. Like I'm just trying to get something that speaks to me, you know? Galang, how you doing? And then I'll add it to this reference page. Let me just whip open this stream figure reference here, whip it in chat, and away you go. So 2 people ideally like interacting like with one another, doing something, not just posing, which is evidently hard to find, particularly on Pinterest as well. This is where I reckon we should do some streams where I like crack open a video and then we like pause the scene. Let's if there was one that didn't look terrible, like what am I looking for? What am I looking for? If anyone has any suggestions for Pinterest searches, let's go. Let's whip in reference. No, they're all very contrived. Very like, hey, look at me. Alright, give myself 2 minutes, because this can turn into a bloody long, like on my own, this can turn into a long session of scrolling. All right, give myself 1 minute. 2 people having drinks. Yeah, it's still like, yeah, give it a shot. 2 people having drinks. Maybe more of a like a jolly. Like this cut, like this kind of something. There's something here. I'll add that. Couple of mates, just having a couple of beers. What else? Because I want to practice subtlety, you know? I want to practice where we've got some like real subtle interactions, not like the that is so in your face, you know what I mean? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to start with this. I'm going to start with this. We'll go back. See if we've got any that I've saved in the meantime. I mean, let's just do this one as well because he looks cool. You know, it is a single person, but what I mean, what I want to do something. I'm getting antsy. See, it's all single people. All single people here. I mean, of the interactions, that is the most interaction-y. Group picnic. Not a bad one, gamer. Blue skies, how you doing? Yeah, look, let's just start. Let's start and see where it takes us, shall we? Oh. Okay. Let's get all this out the way. So, I hope you've all been doing well. Hope you had a great week last week. Actually, I think we should hide our Dyson. Move her out the way. Alright, so what have we got? We've got a dude here and a dude here. Looking down, him, he could be looking at him, or he's like, could be squinting his eyes like he is at the moment. Alright, arm in arm, beer, naughty little thing right here. Alright, so let's just start adding in some of these characters. So head slightly tilted towards here. I'm going to go like sketchy to begin with. Head down. Try and find the ear placement. Maybe something like this. Then we've got hand, arm, shirt, beer, holding, hand, holding beer in a different way. And have we captured something? So I guess this you could call gesture. Right, we're getting the simple idea. There is a weird cutout. Am I crazy, or is that like a weird artifact in here? Or is that just how it happens to be? See, it's those kinds of things that you can fix. Because photos sometimes, man, they look weird. They can just get you at a weird angle. And it's just like, what on earth is going on here? I also would love to revisit. I did a drawing of... Let me pull it up. Also, how's the audio levels and everything as well? Let me know, because I did a crazy thing by updating OBS about like 15 minutes before stream. So ages and ages and ages ago, there's this movie called Legend that I absolutely love. And there's one particular scene that I absolutely love. So I'm even thinking about redrawing the scene, but in like my style. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Here. This fella. Why did that go low res? But anyway, you get the idea. I want to redraw this again, but like do the whole scene. One of my favorite scenes of all time. If you haven't seen it, look up Legend bar scene or something. So funny. Absolutely love it. But like get that kind of vibe. But it's a good little exercise as well. Looking at how the composition is, you know. Now we could turn these characters into whatever. Like we could make this more like mob bossy. Kind of deal. We could do all sorts. Now the nose and the ears are fantastic. If you haven't heard me talk about nose and ears, you're about to. Because if we are trying to get people to look at one another and just get that in like that instant read of like their head direction, minimal effort, or like, no, let's not say that, minimal lines can say, okay, you know where this person is, his head direction is at the moment, right? Just with the ear and the nose, no eyes, no looking at anything, literally just nose and ears. Then we do the same here. Boom, boom, boom. Right, straight ahead. Then we go here. Profile, side profile. Oh yeah, that's weird. I think there's something goofy happening with the arms and torso. Yeah, it looks odd. But I think it literally just is the angle. So we can fix that. We can make them like squish together. Because that might be an easier read, you know. Alright, so we've got our base. Let's knock him back. Now let's figure out our... Do I have my iPad anywhere? I don't know if this is going to show up on the old, what you call it. I've been like playing around with Procreate. I want to figure out how to do a Procreate stream again. I don't even know if you can see that. Hold on. Uno momento, por favor. Like doing some... Nah, you're not going to see that because it's got the green screen thing on it. I've been doing some little expression studies. There's some subtleties that can be very easily missed. So that's what we're going to focus on, I think. Fat Cappy, what's going on? Okay, so I'm going to make this guy a little bit more maybe scary looking. But like in a he'll chop your big toe off kind of scary. But there's a fine line with, you almost want to make him look like manic. So you do the like with manic and like making people like feel like, oh, there's something off about that person. You do the opposites. So you do brows down, but like a smile. Like, even if it's subtle, that mismatch in the old expressions can help a lot. Spooky Emmy, welcome back. Great to have you. Maybe give him a little bit of an underbite. I would like lo-fi hip hop, please. Thank you. All right, now because we've changed everything, like even the head size, we're going stylized with this guy, right? So we've got to utilize the kind of the vibe, not the exact, but the vibes of the reference, right? So, do we close his eyes? No, I think keep his eyes open. Then have him up. Are you doing stylized or realism? I am doing stylized right now. Not very well, apparently. Okay. Because he's a bigger fella now, his shoulders are going to be a little bit bigger. And maybe this guy's a little bit more weedy, like a little bit skinnier. A little bit like sheepish. I imagine he would, I don't know, I'm getting these like British underworld gangster kind of vibes. I think I've been watching has anyone heard of Chopper Read? Any Australians in the house would have, definitely. Been watching like documentaries on him. Bloody crazy fella, if you haven't. Oh, Spooky, you haven't seen my stylized work yet? Oh, man. Well, we will change that right now. Quick, smart. See, I'm getting some like, so you might have like chains. Fingers, there you go. Now big hand, big meaty hand. I mean, we could even change what he's doing. He could be like grabbing onto him a little bit, Now, hairstyle. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Hairstyle. Would like a backwards cap. Work, potentially. Maybe. Who knows? I work early, so I fall asleep during the first half. So here he's kind of like, okay, dude, just chill. I'm sorry for whatever I did, kind of thing. Maybe he's got a big watch. Well, he does in the reference, so what a coincidence. Maybe he doesn't have his hand around him like this because it's not like buddy-buddy. Maybe he's just straight up. Just intimidation mode. Topid's Gem. How are ya? Not a fan of the hair. What are we thinking hair-wise?
Poorly fabricated thoughts of judgment in a cluster. Drop kick 'em, drop victim life living. Don't drop love, it won't get 'em. Drop cops to spin prisons, break it all. It all vicious, free fall, but don't let 'em at all odds with no heart. It's just obvious. I feel all of this now. All of this time got me wondering when I'ma stand on the ground. 'Cause I've been sitting in a free
Maybe like a buzz
don't think I'm ever gonna land.
cut-esque kind of thing, maybe. Possibly, potentially, we'll see. So he's gonna be like, oh god.
Sorry that I ever got her. I wish I handled you in more heartfelt manners. My manners disappear constant. I blame it all on the world. Think I should focus my posture. No, my position is perfect. Repeat that like a mantra. So self-deceit like a guru. That's how I'm feeling.
Let's have a look.
Syndrome. I got that. I'm after something I locked and I put myself in the boxes. It's like alongside my
So we got to. One thing I see a lot as well is like sometimes the eyes don't connect with what they're looking at. Like you've got two characters in a scene, and then they're just not looking where they should be looking.
I'ma lead off in the place I wanna stand for. I get stranded in the air, hanging out with empty hands. Yeah, this a free fall. Don't think I'm ever gonna land. Life is seesaw, and I'm a heavyweight man. Think I'ma lead off in the place I wanna stand for. I get stranded in the air, hanging out with empty hands. I made some bad decisions. Let's call them learning moments. I'm my worst opponent. I said I didn't notice.
Let's see if we can get the.
See, it was perfect for
Nah.
a second till a minute turned to lead.
Getting that eye angle is going to be bloody tricky without it looking too cartoony, you know. This is where iteration comes in. You almost want him to like. I think it could be cool to have like him pulling away a little bit, and then his hands like keeping him in. So this now changes the whole theme of the reference.
All falls down and I'm left with the M. Yeah, this a free fall. Don't think I'm ever gonna land. They playing T-ball. I just hit a grand slam. Think I'ma lead off in the place I wanna stand for. I get
Boom.
stranded in the air, hanging out with empty hands. Yeah, this
We are straight into it today. No fluffing about.
is seesaw. I'm a heavyweight man. Think I'ma lead off in the place I wanna stand for. I get stranded in the air, hanging out with
Okay. Now, how much of the eyes would we see? That is the question. If we're looking down, we might not see bugger all of the eyes. Maybe he's not looking up at him. Maybe he's just like contemplating, like, oh Christ, what have I done? maybe he's like got his hand on his chest. He's like, you're alright. But don't ever do it again. Draw an arrow to point at the direction they are looking at. I think that's a little bit too on the nose. So he's like really like bunched up and he's just like, don't want to be anywhere near this dude, but we're here. Okay. So if he's here, his neck's going to be back here. His arm down here maybe. Very scrunched up. Potentially. Maybe his hand's a little bit too big. Alright, this is going to need some cleaning up for sure, but I want to just get the idea, you know. Little story, spent 5 days on my illustration, showed it to my lecturer, and now they want a whole new style. Deadline tomorrow. Galang. Jalang Galang. My apologies for butchering your name. My deepest condolences. What style are they after? Or what do they say? And what was the illustration? Was it like a whole scene, or is it like a single character? What are we talking here? Hard-working co-pilot. Hard-working pilot. What's going on? Welcome back. This eye is going to be bloody tricky. So if he was to be looking... There we go. Use my own buddy advice. That's an idea. Draw the whole eye inside the skull, right? Point it to where he's thereabouts looking. Remove the whole eyeball. Add the lid. And that's going to give a better direction of the eye. How's that, hey? Alright, I reckon it's time to knock it back a little bit. And refine. One more layer of refinement, then we'll do another gesture. Now I was wanting to do a bit of color, actually. Do a little bit of color today. The last few times, last few streams, we've been doing more line worky stuff. So I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of color into the stream again. Oh my god, it's Christian Knee. What's going on, dude? You've been cranking any more of the oils? A little bit. About to record a pod. Oh, no. Oh, is what's his face there? I don't know if I'm talking too inside baseball, so I don't want to mention who is there. If it's someone that I know, say hi to them for me. Rules protect you. Okay, no, I don't. Appreciate it, gamer. Oh, Marshall was yesterday. Okay, cool. Cool. How'd that go? Let me do little ears for this guy. Little ears. Good, Marshall is always a good guess. Yeah. Also, if any of you are thinking about doing like expos and selling prints and selling art and doing like the expo circuit, Christian has a phenomenal video with slipped my mind. Let's just crack it open. How can I forget his Chris? But that's not what anyone knows him by. Kahasu, that's the one. So if any of you are wondering how to be a bloody successful...
Do you want to win a...
This one right here, I'll flick it in chat. Wealth of knowledge this fella is. Particularly if you're thinking about going to Lightbox, tabling at Lightbox or tabling at any expos. You'd be silly not to check that one out. Catch you later, dude. Have fun. We had to redraw a scene from a kid's book in our own style. I did my art style, but I guess he didn't like it. Oh, what? What was the critique, I guess, instead of like, I just didn't like it? Was there any clear direction? Did they give you any indication of, okay, more along the style of whoever, you know what I mean? XYZ artist? Because if not, that's not very helpful. But I'm sure they gave you some kind of direction. I'm hoping. Alright, trying to indicate a bit of an underbite. Was wondering, could you sketch a composition with several characters interacting someday? I really struggle staying loose. Would love to see how you work through complex compositions. Thanks. Hard working pilot. That's the reason why I'm doing a couple of characters here. But yeah, doing multiple characters in the one scene. That's a good challenge. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Very, very good idea. Maybe he's like missing a tooth. I mean, that's kind of like a little bit, I don't know, predictable, or like the gold tooth or whatever. He looks a little bit more goofy than Mob Bossy at the moment. But, I mean, it is what it is. Chris, what's going on? Looks a little bit Bugs Bunny-ish for my liking. Let's redo. All right, so finding the mouth. It's got to sit in here somewhere. Center line, get all this balancing out. All right, let's find the teeth. All right, I'm imagining the skull here. Always imagining the skull. It helps me out so much. Ahmed, how can I got a job as a freelance. Get a new keyboard that doesn't stick the caps lock on it. Step 1. Step 2, in what industry? Start asking what. Like, what are you after? See here, you know what I'm talking about before with the expression. You got these. Well, I don't want the guide. These going down, but there's a smile at the same time. Gives out that like kind of unsettling kind of feeling. I do want that underbite. I love a good underbite. But it looks, nah. Or we go subtle. With just the stern, big old chin. I don't hate that. Nothing wrong with a bit of subtlety. In character design, yeah, but like for who? For what? Is it character design is a large field? Is it for children's books? Is it for games? Is it for, you know what I mean? Because that is going to then dictate how you position your portfolio. But keep in mind, I'm in no way qualified to talk about portfolios because I've never made one. My Instagram is, I guess, my portfolio. So yeah, I would not be comfortable just slinging out all types of tips. All I could say is what I would do, you know. But at the end of the day, you're a problem solver, regardless of who you're trying to get work for or from, however you want to word it. What problem do they have? And how can you demonstrate to them that you can solve that problem in a way that they're looking for? That's really it. Now the minutiae of that and getting that to come across is a whole other thing. I think we could slowly creep up on him being even more like nuts. Like maybe the brows are actually up even more. I would probably, if I was doing this like for real, I would go and get like reference of like crazy people. We might even, maybe the upper lid can be open more. So it's like the lower lid. See, that gives him that real like manic kind of like, got you now. All right, let's see if we can get this hand. Feeling just like Now with the fingernails even, these have dimension, right? If I just whipped the fingernails just like bang in the center of the hand, okay, it's all right, it's fine. But I'm thinking about these as like 3D forms. All right. All of them. It's got volume. And where would those fingernails be sitting, you know? Probably not there. So we just got to iterate. We can add this hand in here. Different hand style. Skinnier, right, to really show the difference between the characters. Maybe even skinnier again we could go. Even skinnier. Like really sort of knobbly, bony sort of fingers. And fingers are tricky. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yeah, that looks... There's something off here because we made them even smaller. Scooch them up a little bit potentially. Find that whole hand. Now we're looking on top of this ear. There's that like interaction with the hand. Maybe that's actually like squished his cheek a little bit as well. Like this thumb squishes his cheek a little bit, so there might be a bit of an indication there. Slowly getting somewhere. Head's too big. Better. That nose, I think, could come in a little bit more. Maybe you should see a little bit of that lash on the other side, maybe. I'm going to be trying to be better about stretches for wrists, but I'm usually forget. Yeah, me too. Me too. Lux Lynn, hey Ben, discovered your channel recently and have learned a bunch watching your videos. Oh, fantastic. Your content makes me want to push stylization in my own work. Oh, that's awesome. I'm also going to Lightbox in October, so I hope to catch you there. Ah, I'll catch you there. No, that's wicked. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, stylization, I don't know, it's so fun. And the cool thing is that it's none of it is like all the principles carry over for everything. Like, and it's up to you how much you want to stylize, you know, how much you want to push the shapes, how much you really want to sort of push that stylization slider. Not loving this fella, if I'm honest. Like, it's kind of, it's in its very early stages. Let's pause it here, I think, for a minute, because I kind of just jumped straight into it. Nothing wrong with that, mind you. Nothing wrong with a bit of just pep in your step and just going for it. But I think we should give this guy a go. All right, we've got an idea here, let's say. Let's just call this like an idea. Something to play with. Let's do some more warm-up-y kind of stuff. Figure-wise. Now, the cool thing is we can see this platform that he's standing on. Let's say like the top of him is going to be here. Foot. Foot. There. Foreshortened. Foot. Boom. Right, now there's a bit of twisting going, actually a lot of twisting going on here. So this is where like the center line helps a ton. Let's move him here. So yeah, this week for me, just been knocking out Drea. As usual, for those of you who don't know, working on a course platform, building it with my good friend Francis, and that's been taking up basically all of my time. So these streams, once again, thank you for popping in. These streams are a good opportunity for me to keep my skills sharp. Hardworking pilot, do you have a shorthand method for drawing distant crowds, or do you just grind through them one by one? If I'm honest, I haven't done too many distant crowds. And it depends on the style as well, I guess. Is it like painting? Is it line work, you know? There was that artist that I showed the other day. Who was it? It was like a World War I, World War II illustrator. And it was all like pen and ink. Or it was all just ink, I guess. Stylized for a children's book sort of thing, yeah. No real shorthand. I would look at how other people have done it personally, and that head is way too big. Whoa. That's the issue with zooming in, right? Pinky, palm, thumb. There. Kneecap. calf, come down, foot. Bill Malden. Lazy, is that someone that that hardworking can check out? Boom. Cool. Nice little gesture. Oh, Bill Maudlin. No, who was it? Oh, it's like an Italian sounding name. Let's see if I can get it. Because I think you can learn a lot from like the pen and ink. Oh, Discord is scumbag. Let's see who it was. Fortunino Matania. I'll give you a little taste. Because he did like a lot of people. It's not a massive crowd, but it's just Junino Matania. But like this kind of stuff. Just like loads of people. Come on. Like here. Can't even. Oh, it won't let me zoom in. Gotcha. Alright. So like here, how it just looks so realistic. But it's not. It's like the impression of people in the background. And a lot of it, from what I'm seeing, is just the eyes and the nose and like the light direction. You could take this and stylize it however you want. Even the people through the window, like holy frick. And then it just gets lost. So it's like as it comes forward and forward and forward, you get more and more detailed. But that's what came to mind of like crowds, you know. But for a children's book, yeah, I don't know, off the top of my head. I saw you recommended Michael Hampton's figure construction course on Procreate. I'm thinking of taking it. Any thoughts? Highly recommend. Steve's bloody great. I know him personally. He's phenomenal. He's like the first person that made, for me, figure stuff. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you're crazy. Steve Hampton. His actual name's Steve. Michael Hampton. Let me just whip up his drawing info. This one here. Charlie, appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, we actually help with this website. But his work, like this stuff, it's the first time that I saw figure drawing instruction that I was just like, ooh, I just love it so much, and like the structure. And this was like 10 years ago that I saw his stuff for the first time. And it's the stuff that kind of just started to click for me. You know? Like the wedging of the shapes into everything. It's the foreshortening, the structure. Like I love a good bit of structure. If you know anything about me, I love a good bit of structure. So yeah, you can't go wrong with with Steve's stuff. Alright, I kind of want to take this guy a little bit further. Yeah, there's a lot that... this has got to annoy me. I'm going to want to fix this, but I might throw a bit of colour on this fella. This is where I'm going to do the colour part. I'm bouncing all around the place. But let's just clean it up a tad. Just so we can give ourselves a nice bit of structure again to then whip some of the colour in. I tend to lose concentration and start making mediocre, undynamic decisions. It depends what you're doing. There are times for undynamic decisions to then highlight the more dynamic decisions, you know what I mean? It's like if everything's colourful, then nothing's colourful. So it's all depends on the context, I guess. Miranda. Sometimes I feel like it's hard for my mind to synthesize the human form rather than just copying the reference, though. Yeah, and that's a big part of it. Not looking at not looking at saying I'm drawing the hand. Well, the thing that helped me, right, is I'm not thinking about drawing the hand here. I'm thinking about grouping the shapes more so. You hear me talking about shapes all the bloody time. My apologies, but and this hand is looking wonky as. But it happens, you know. It is what it is. Right, but say for example this arm. I'm not thinking about this as an arm necessarily, or not at. I do at a certain point, but at the beginning stages, I'm trying to think about the shape that's in front of this other shape, this other cylinder, right? Cylinder going slightly back in space. This is going slightly back in space as well. Right, and then when it even comes down to the muscles, like this latissimus is a whole shape in itself that's in front of the pec here. Right, but then as a whole, this could be looked at as like a squished kind of cylinder. So instead of like a perfect, if we're looking down and here's the pecs, instead of a perfect cylinder, it's more of like this, because this guy's quite lean, I'd think of it more like this kind of cylinder. So you kind of squished it a little bit, you know, and it has a center line, and this center line is massively important to me, because then I can find that here to then balance out the rest of these shapes. If that makes any sense at all, I hope. Catch you later, Lux. Thanks for popping in. Marlon, welcome back. But Marco Bucci paints a crowded ballroom scene and every stroke is dynamic and clever. Bloody bastard. Even the bloody curtains in the back are cleverly abstracted. Have you been doing it like many Marco Bucci studies? Because that could help. Like just getting out of your own way of doing stuff and just sort of trying on someone else's style to then see what you can glean from it. then here, we've got all these shapes, you know, in front. This knee moving towards us. Right, this one's coming not directly down, but only a slight kind of tilt towards us. Namist, ever feel like you were trying to juggle too many styles at once? I can't seem to settle on anything. I can only talk from my experience, but what if you stop trying to settle on something and continue to explore? But I mean, there comes a point, say, for if you're doing a job, that you need to, like if someone is asking for a certain style, you can't just be like, oh, I'm still exploring. You've got to do the job that you're hired to do, right? But what if you stopped in your personal work, stopped trying to settle and continue to explore and let your curiosity continue to push you in the direction that you want to get to? Because my hunch is, I could be wrong, that if you're feeling like your style just isn't hitting, you've not found the aesthetic that you're after yet. So for me, that tells me that more exploration needs to be done. And also, yeah, I don't know, also just having fun with it. I know it's annoying to hear, oh, just have fun with it. But enjoying the exploration process and taking bits and pieces of things that are feeling good, that are feeling right. And then every now and then, trying to like do a piece in a particular style that, or in like a combination of styles, but like very deliberately, if that makes sense. So it's like, all right, I'm going to take the shapes of this artist, I'm going to take the color of this artist, and then mash them up into this piece of work and deliberately go through and get a whole bunch of their references next to you, right? And then do something completely by yourself, no references at all, no references, and then see what you come up with. Because I've personally never really, how do I say this? I've never been too concerned about finding a style. I looked at what I liked from others, and I tried to learn how they came about those decisions. And then I kept doing that. And then once I got bored of it, then I did something else. I tried a different way of doing stuff. And I sort of just kept iterating. Again, in a job perspective, it's like there's some practicalities of just being like, okay, you need to draw this way. You can't really have your own hang-ups about whatever you're doing. It's hard not to put yourself in a box. Yeah. I find focusing mostly on design helps and letting style follow however it fits best. True. Seba, what's going on? Thanks for popping in. I was wondering, which type of clay do you recommend to start in sculpture? I was planning to use the Monster Clay brand. I think that's good. I've never used it personally. I couldn't get it here where I'm at. I've used Alien Clay by Smooth On. That was really good. I particularly like the hard and the medium. But know that it's not like a polymer clay, like the clay that you can then go forward and bake and it's hard, it's always going to be clay. So then if you want to make copies of it, then you've got to mold and cast the copies, if that makes sense. Sorry if you already knew that. It's just I've talked to a few people about that, and that wasn't a given. You know what I mean? Because it's like a whole new medium. All right, let's put some color on this guy. Hey, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, what do we think? He's kind of a little bit too far. He looks a little bit off balance. So I think we can make some little tweaks. All right, because his head's kind of there. Maybe his head's too far forward. Because the head is going to be a big indicator of like how balanced you are. So maybe that's even more foreshortened. Because we're changing all the shapes, we can't always rely on the reference, you know? Then how far back is that foot? Maybe we drop this down just a smidge. Like, whoop. That feels a tad better. Okay, let's see if we can get some volume going. So many of these sketches that I've done over the last few months. I'm like, oh, I want to take them further. And I will. Eventually. We've got a lot of... what do I say? Like a lot of opportunity to go back and see how I can push some of the things that we've done on stream. Yeah, the whole process with the oven is a bit tricky for now. Thanks for... Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, no, it's good for... I highly recommend... Like, I want to put together a course on, like, clay and how it's helped me with my 2D stuff. Because it is so... It's helped, like, crazy amounts. Like, I even just sit here... I showed this dude... I don't know if he's gonna... This little fella. Just being able to sculpt that and then see the forms and move it around, like he's a little elderly looking dude. He's tiny, right? But just being able to see it in real 3 dimensions and not even just on a screen, I highly recommend picking up sculpting. Even if you go get like, yeah, your alien clay and just get a little bit of it and have a bit of a play around. Okay, local colors. Now I want to see if I can capture some of the subtleties in his skin tone here. So we got a bit of this. Whoa. What I might actually do, big old softy. Just start whipping in some of this. Now, I'm not really thinking of, what's the word, values just yet. I'm just trying to see where I can see opportunities for some color variation. You know, there's a fair bit in his face, but it's actually quite desaturated in his chest area. Right, even like his legs, upper part of his legs, don't see much sun. Let's add that background in, shall we? Make him pop out a little bit. Whip open a cheeky little multiply layer. Let's see if we can cool that shadow down. Let's see if we can. So where is this light source coming from? Because he's got this shadow on the back. That's kind of what's confusing. So it's got to be coming from the right hand side, right? Right, you're looking at his eyes here, this side of his face, like that, underneath here. Underneath there. Zoom it out. Then his legs. There's going to be that kind of shadow there. Now we can. I'm going to knock this back in a moment, and then this whole back foot is in shadow. So now that gives it a little bit of that light direction, you know. Love a good car shadow. Come through and knock that back. See what we can do with the screen. Turn off autofill. See if we can start carving. Even this, like just a little indication of that lighter value. On the parts that are going to be hit by the light. His face is looking a little goofy, but it is what it is. The tiny head looks like such a fun exercise. Hope you can share some of your experience with sculpture in the near future. Yeah, I do want to fold that into some of the content I'm putting out, because it is bloody good fun. T. Tulio Arts. First time catching one of this live. Awesome, great stuff. I appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Now, I think we have opportunity to knock down. So if we knock down this and it can still kind of start holding up as a shape in 3D space, then we're doing something okay. Let's maybe knock it back a little bit so it gives us, I don't even know what you'd call it, but it gives us some room to play with some of the darker values. So if I want to come in here, you know what? I'm just going to do the lasso and then knock it in here. Get some of those occlusion shadows going, even under the pits. Right, slowly but surely, hopefully it'll start feeling like something. All going well. Ishan, what's going on? Welcome back. So a lot of the time it's in the creases where we can utilize this kind of the occlusion shadows, you know. Super. How you doing, man? We can do a cheeky little bit of the smudge brush or the smudge tool to show that rounding of the form, but it's not necessary. It's not super necessary. Right, so we're getting some volume in there, you know. This whole hand should be in shadow. Yeah. Oh, we're getting a vibe for it. Darken it down a tad maybe, because then we can come back through and add some of the reflected light, add some of the, you know, reflected light. That's what I meant. Andrew, what's happening, man? Welcome. Dude, I got to tell you what, if you're still in here, you've been giving me the itch to whip out the oils. It's every time I see one of your reels, one of your videos, if you guys haven't, I'm sure you have though, go check out Mr. Andrew Kadima's work. Highly recommend. Sugar Beats is going on. Fahar, welcome. Alright, let's add in. Let's whip a cheeky little screen layer mode for his undies. Ben Draws Shapes. That should be my channel name. That's it. Let's add a little bit of a... We should do swaps and I'll try digital and you do oil. Sounds like a plan to me. Actually, question. Quick. I mean, I've got all the gear. I bought this. Never used it. I can't remember why I bought it, but it's a medium, right? Is that the same as like liquid? I don't know. You may or may not know, but you're the oil man. It's solvent-free gel. Oil painting medium, but would it work similar to like a liquid kind of thing? Andrew never stays, he disappears. He is a ghost, yeah. Sugar Beach, you're the sender, are ya? Manny, what's going on? This is not lo-fi hip-hop. Epidemic Sound. Oh, actually, no, forgiveness. It started to get there. My deepest apologies. Thanks, Sugar Beats. Fun fact, Ben is actually American. I'm just fantastic at accents. Alright, I'm going to try and do this all in one hit. I'm going to get all the little scales of the serratus and see if we can get that illusion going. Get out of here, you thing. Here, here, here. Let's get a little bit of this ab stuff going on. Maybe a cheeky little bit here. Alright, can we do this all in one hit? Get that illusion. Not really. Oh. It needs to feather off. And then we need to scooch it back. We need to make that fall off of light. Just a little bit, you know. And then we can carve back. Manny, I don't know. I just joined random streams to see how it'd feel when someone says my name. For some reason, I don't feel connected to my name. It's like a lab number. It's like, hey, 001, come here. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, where are we looking? Where are we looking? So yeah, fall off is like a real big thing. I don't really use much medium, but that looks like a quick dry thickener. Well, we'll give it a whirl then. I don't know what where we'll use it. Yeah, I gotta watch. I think you went through. You've been posting some videos, which I've been looking to then get myself a little oil sketchbook. And then getting the gesso. But I was chatting to someone the other day about like oils versus like digital stuff. And in say like comparison to your gouache and that kind of stuff, the mixing and the painting of oils is like the closest thing to digital kind of painting, Because good luck trying to match colours with gouache. I tell you, at least for me, there's probably a skill issue. I'm not going to deny that. But also, anyone that's doing digital, I highly, highly recommend getting into some traditional. I've done a bit, and I tell you, actually seeing the pigments mix in front of your eyes in real life, things just click, you know? Well, they just started to click for me. What are we doing? Yeah, give that a little bit of the blue in the background, you know? Now we could do, there's a couple of things we could do, right? We could pump the darks a little bit more. I do love a good rim light. Yeah, sugar beads, I'm down. I would love to really get into oils. I was even talking to Christian about this the other day because Christian started to get into the old oil painting. There's something about physical stuff. I want to do like the whole, I want to like sculpt something, do a digital version of studying it, do a traditional version of studying it, and get the whole I don't know even what I was trying to say there. Get the whole learning trifecta. Now, let's do a little cheat. It's not cheat. There's no rules, but I wouldn't mind doing a cheeky little rim light just to see what it looked like. Nothing wrong with that. But the thing with a rim light is it's not just a line that you add to the outside. It's got to conform a little bit, well, a lot of bit, depending on how realistic you want to get, to the actual form that the light is still light. It's not just like an edge light necessarily. Or it could be. It could be. You mean like what James Gurney does? Yeah. How he makes like the maquettes. J95. How you doing? Are you more sketching, more all in with this one? Or more? Could you rephrase that for me, Jay? I'm just doing... We started off with this. Oh no. We started off with this little scene today. And I wasn't liking it. So then I did this little gesture, and now we're just going and whipping some colour and doing some value in colour studies. Also, Andrew and Ben, you both will start a band. He plays piano, you play drums. I haven't played drums in a long time. I was thinking about actually doing a session today, because I haven't in a very, very, very long time. Too long. Let's see what we can do with color variation. It's looking a little flat for my liking. Let's use the color. Do we want to use the color lay? I think we use the color lay mode. Maybe even the multiplier. Maybe even whipping in a bit of the multiplier, because then we've got, I feel like if you know how to wield the multiply layer, you can do everything that you can do with the color layer mode. But then you also have the benefit of the control of adding values as well. Or like darkening down the values. Not so much lightening, you can't really lighten anything with a multiply layer. Manny, how does it feel like to be where you're at right now? Arguably, there's a lot you can draw now, perfect or imperfect. Do you feel like what you earn from your art and the utility you get from making it is enough? Never enough. It's a blessing and a curse of having that mindset, because I'm always looking for the next like thing to do. If you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, cool. Like, I'm always wanting to learn more, because if I'm honest, I get a lot more of the enjoyment in the process of learning the thing rather than the final output of the thing, whatever that thing is, whether it's this, whether it's learning another skill. It's the journey, man. But nah, like, it legit is. Always chasing the dragon, that's it. This is realism because it's, I appreciate it, Spooky. I don't know if this isn't realism, is more on the realistic side of lighting, but the character isn't. Kidulting. I like the name. What do you know? I made a live session. Great to have you. I'm always watching these vids in the mornings while I do my art days. Fantastic. Great to have you. Learning is a continuous art. Never feel like you've... But yeah, exactly. I love the learning process. It's not... Because then what? Like, once you're done, like, what do you do? It's even like the idea of like retiring. To do what? I don't know. That never made sense to me personally. I'm confused. Looks like realism. It's realistic lighting, but the character, like if you look at, if you look at where we started with the sketch, that's like a cartoony sketch, right? And then we're just overlaying our understanding of light and color and all that sort of stuff on top. Good time, I think, to merge it all down into one layer. And also we're missing a key thing, grounding this fella in the scene. I do like a good bit of cast shadow. Nothing wrong with that. That's how he's looking. It looks like he's standing on something. He painted on an old suitcase. That's cool. Manny, I hate that nothing is ever good enough. Not because I draw very good, but because I suck. And yet I haven't seen anything I've wanted to draw so bad that it makes all the noise disappear. Catch you later, Super. Thanks for popping in, my friend. Yeah, but there's always that like doubting feeling, right? Like it's not... I used to get very, like, I still do. Not as much anymore, but I used to get very, very frustrated Like to the point where I'd never finish anything because I just was never happy with anything that I was doing. So it's kind of normal in a way, I guess, to feel that. But I mean, what's normal, really? Everyone's going to have their own journeys and whatnot. But yeah, I remember being very, very frustrated all the time, never finishing anything because it was just never good enough, right? Now we're getting some 3D-ness going. Now if we want to do the cheeky little smudge brush, just to give this illusion of the turning forms. Hayao Miyazaki has retired 4 times now. Yeah, that's right. Joe, welcome back. Everything is a warm-up session until it turns into something. Oof. True. See if we can get a bit of this specular highlights going. Just whack them in there. Now with the speculars, you've got to set them up right. You can't just willy-nilly throw. I mean, you can do it. You can do whatever you want, but the speculars can be pretty tricky. Particularly if you haven't set them up in the correct way, in context. And it looks a bit weird at the moment, but we'll get there, don't worry about it. We all start somewhere. No shame in redrawing the same pose or scene until you feel better about it each time. True. True, true, true. There's something creepy about him right now. Maybe it's because he's got no mouth. But I'm not loving it. Fugitivo Art. Hey, I follow you on Insta. I didn't know you made streams in Twitter. I do now. I do. I'm also on YouTube. I've just started to branch out into Twitch as well. He's looking creepy as. Oh god. That's alright. Can we fix it? We will find out shortly. The background blend with it a bit. Yeah, I think there's also a missing shoulder here, which could help give some context. Yeah, there we go, maybe. With the old missing shoulder. Can we save it? I think scrap the head and everything else is looking okay. Start picking out some of those serratus. Yeah, I got no idea what's going on in chat, if I'm honest. I'm trying to make 3D forms. And I'm looking up and people were talking about accounting. Sam, what's going on, dude? I think he needs more of an expression. No, I hate this head here. Let's just get rid of it. Start again. %30 of the time, this works every time.
please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? It's a big, big world out there. Plenty possibilities. All of them is killing me soft. I want the real me figured out right here, right now. Is this lifestyle the right style for me? Only with time will I see. But by then it'll be too late. Looking in the mirror at a stranger's face. If I wasn't right, would you tell me straight? Would you let me? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for
A
it?
little
Bring me
better.
to my
Got a
knees.
bit of character in there.
I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see?
What happened? Ben SOS.
But I can't find my way. I fall on my face. I flatline my face.
Sorry,
I'll escape.
I'm drawing. I don't know what's going on.
I trade for a couple of bucks in this big bucket of love. I'm steady throwing my up, hoping for that 1 in 100. But fuck stressing the numbers. Pop this deck in your summer and see the inner of my head declog like a plunge. Y'all be akin to my feces. Your best bet be the Bee Gees. The way you think living's staying alive. I got my head in my smile, but don't know where I'll fly. I'm just spreading my wings. I'm fine with taking my time. I used to rush it all out. I'm trying to slow it all down. Take my feet and lose ground. Give me somewhere to hang. I always want it right now. Trying to slow it all down. Take my mind and lose ground. Watch it floating away. Yeah. Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my
Thank you,
knees.
T2.
I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so
Yeah, maybe it's the
stupid.
eye angle.
Wasn't meant to be what I see
Yeah, something like that probably looks a little bit better. Actually, speaking of backgrounds, been so stumped on how to decide on the layout and design of something like a sketch page or concept art sheet. How do you do it? Catch that, money. Thank you, Sugar Beats. It's still looking a little like greyish, like obviously because you've got like the calls here, but muddy I guess is the word. Yeah, sorry, layout Joe. Backgrounds, I do like a little bit of a vignette, like this kind of thing. Very Line Decker-esque. Throwing something in the background just to like let him, give him a bit of separation. Lazy sketch guy. Ben, do you find it hard to add the background after you draw a cool pose? Yes. Because that can change the vibe of the whole thing. That's why I liked throwing it in here a little bit earlier. Even in the sketch. Even just for this little study, you know. I also like this little tangent here is probably not amazing. So I'd almost bring it down through here. I kind of want to highlight or give me an opportunity to highlight the shapes, I guess. Or go all the way up here. Probably all the way up there looks a little bit better. You just got to play around with it, you know. You've also got what I've seen people do as well, which can look cool. Like if something's super complex, for example, like even here, knocking this back in space could look kind of cool. I've seen people do that as well for like things in the background, but it's not, it shouldn't really be that like faded out. There's no atmospheric perspective that would realistically make that happen, but it can look cool. Skeety Art, hello. Your stylization of your character is dope. Keep it up, man. Love what I see. Thank you, T2. T2. Yes. He is good. He is a bit glossy. Sam. I'm stuck at a generous 5'11". I've not practiced getting taller myself. So I don't know if I have any tips there, unfortunately. That's what I was missing. There was a bit of the arm there. I'm pretty sure. But I think it should be a bit skinnier. And then that can be a little bit darker than everything else because it's in the background. Maybe. That could be about there. Platforms, there you go. I think if we're cheeky with it, we could get a little bit of that specularity on the hand there. No, I don't like that. That can get rid of it. Now, I'm going to come through with another pass of color variation to see what we can do there. So we're going to do the multiply layer. But what I'm going to do is keep the brightness at 100 so that it's really just going to utilize the color and less so the values. Let's also get rid of brush settings, shape dynamics, so it just gives us a large swath of color. A swath. I love a good bit of redness on the extremities. Don't ask me why. Because it can really also play up the fact that he typically wears like shorts or something. Like his legs might be a little bit more tan. Let's check our values. How are we feeling values wise? Yeah, it's feeling like something. There's a lot more we can do with it. We can add in a little bit more of our, whoa, not that. oh, I guess you could say our whisper lines to really hit home some of these forms. Also give the illusion of that Terminator. A little bit of the old I'll be back. Right, so there's going to be this bounce light bouncing off of his skin. It's not as noticeable here, but it's enough that we can get away with it. Now, because he's on a white background as well. Oh no, we've lost our sketch. Let's make sure we don't completely lose this. So that's going to be a little bit darker there. That's fine. Where was I? Yeah, with the light, the brightness of the floor, that's going to then add some reflected light underneath. So even underneath here, we could give that illusion on the leg. And this is why the environment matters so much when you're talking about the color of things. Because sometimes what you think it's going to be, like the skin color, quote unquote, it's all determined on the environment. Oh yeah, I love me pick joints too. Nice. It's not just me. Now what I could do, what I might do, is give myself a layer over the top of it that allows me to knock down the values all at once, but in a certain color range. Let's maybe cool it down a bit. Cool it down one more. Maybe one more. And another. And another little bit. But then I can come through and I can pick out where I want to keep that. Oh, actually, no, you know what? What I'm going to do? Forget that. I'm going to keep it at there. Knock it back a tad. And then this can kind of give us room for some of those specular highlights. Kind of gives it a mood almost. And we've got those nice little speculars. There. Yeah, we could just build it up over time, you know. Oh, I'm glad, Sugar Beats. That's an honor. Because I always have to, whenever I'm eating, I always have to have something on. And I'm glad I'm food worthy. It's weird. I don't know when that happened, but I've like trained myself to whenever I'm eating, I always have to like be watching something. Am I getting a bit too egregious with the elbows? Potentially. So then we can come through, screen layer it up, come in. No, that was the wrong way, I think. Oh no, not the right way, just the wrong spot. Also, because this is in the light back here, potentially, because it's the hand, that might be lighter. There is that possibility as well. And we could just keep going and 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 going. This needs, his undies need some work. Color. Now let's finish him up, although he's not, I don't think he's finished, but for this stream, add in some of the feet stuff, also known as toes. more on the, let's say, impressionistic side, but that's fine. Okay, look. I reckon we'll call it there. Had a good bit of fun. We could really push this a lot more if we had the time. But unfortunately, we must part ways. But only for a week. As I keep going. Can't help myself. I would redo that face completely. But if you enjoyed this stream, we do it weekly. Every week, 10:45 AM Australian Central Daylight Time on a Monday. 4 PM PST on a Sunday. Appreciate it, Sugar Beats. It was kind of a bit of a sporadic one. I mean, what one isn't really, if I'm honest. These Monday ones are all over the place. But didn't really come in with a plan. But we got something, you know? We could continue to carve underneath here. I can't stop myself. Nope, too much carving. Too much carving. We need to calm down with our carving. And then here should be slightly lighter as it falls off. And then wraps around. So it looks a little bit more natural. But yeah, if you like this sort of stuff, links in my description. You know where it is. No plugs really needed. I do have an 8 out of 10 chapter walkthrough tutorial available right now if you are interested. 40-page PDF field guide that comes with it and some 3D models. I just said no plugs, but I just did a plug then. But yeah, that's all the plugs really. Ben says he'll end his live stream. So, but what animal have you seen this week? I saw some rosellas on some telephone poles. That's about it. But rosellas are cool looking birds. And I heard a kookaburra. Heard a couple of them on a walk. But no footage, unfortunately. I can't stop myself. Oh, I guess while I'm doing these tiny little touch-ups, I've been working on a course platform. I've got to promote it. It is what it is. It's going to be coming out soon. Started to give some access some early super alpha access to some people, getting some feedback. Been knocking out the landing page, which is coming together good. And when it's finally ready, I can't wait to just be like, here's the bloody link. Go for it. But until then, these are like scales. Oh, I'm getting all caught up in it, but I can't help myself. Because now you get into the phase of where you're thinking about things like sort of abstractly. So like here, it's like that wraps around like this, flat, but then this goes boom, boom, and this goes boom, 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 and then you start trying to continue and go and see if you can make it look more realistic. Not even realistic, but just like ring true. The little scales of his torso. Catch that hard working. Don't forget to play one drum song today. Thank you, Sugar Beats. I will. Believable rather than realistic. Correct. But I guess they could be one and the same. But that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for, yeah, you could buy that this is like something that's 3D sitting in front of you, you know? We could really just keep chipping away. It's real subtle as well. It's not like detail isn't the word here. It's, I guess it's detail, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. All right, that's enough. Put your pens down. Hold on. I can't stop myself. No, now I'm messing it up. I'm going to just quit while I'm ahead. Okay. Cool. He's a little bit flat color-wise for my liking, but it'll do for now. Same time every week. Appreciate you, lazy. Thank you, everyone that's popping in. You bloody legends. Those that hop in chat, you bloody legends. Those that don't, you still bloody legends. You sleeper stream people, appreciate you. And I will catch you next week. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And I think that's it. No better way to end it, I don't think, than to just say goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah, I don't know how to end this one. It just dragged on. And I could still keep going. No, enough. All right, goodbye. Goodbye. Where's my stuff?